Hello guys, welcome back to this YouTube channel. In this video, we will present to you 8 most controversial Netflix documentaries. What are these films? Let's see.
Steve had this massive reputation as the best safety diver ever.
If a diver wants to feel secure, they're very happy diving with someone that...
Australian resident Jessica Wongso has been charged with the
Number
murder
8,
of Mina
Ice Cold,
Salihin.
Murder, Coffee
Police
and Jessica
allege she
Wongso.
poisoned her friend by adding cyanide.
The first most controversial Netflix documentary was Ice Cold, Murder, Coffee and Jessica Wongso. This is a documentary that will be released in 2023. As the name suggests, this documentary presents the story of the very controversial and phenomenal murder case of Myrna Salihin. As we know, Myrna is known to have died as a result of being murdered by her best friend Jessica Wongso.
Jessica dijerat dengan pasal 30, maksud kami 340 KUHP tentang pembunuhan berencana dengan ancaman hukuman mati.
According to the case, Myrna died as a result of drinking Vietnamese iced coffee ordered by Jessica Wongso. During the trial period which took place several years ago, many controversial things emerged. Many things were considered odd, both from Myrna and her family and from Jessica herself. In fact, this case has caught the attention of almost all Indonesian people.
Dia tidak bersalah, silakan bebaskan dia.
They are curious about what really happened, because there is a lot of confusing information and news regarding this matter. In the documentary Ice Cold, Murder, Coffee and Jessica Wongso presented various other sides of the case. What then made the documentary controversial was that many people thought that the documentary implied that Jessica was innocent. And the debate itself still continues today.
Are you sure Jessica killed Myrna? 1,000,000% guilty. He is the killer.
Growing up,
Number 7, Our Father.
different.
One of the most unique documentaries and enough to give many people goosebumps. Our Father is a documentary that shows how research was carried out regarding women's DNA. However, this research actually led to various terrible and controversial things. One of them is the involvement of the doctor and fertility expert.
I think it was some sick experiment for him.
Donald Saline was apparently involved in various existing sperm donor schemes, where he used his own sperm to make various women who came to him pregnant. This is what then makes many people think that Our Father is one of the most controversial documentaries on Netflix. They questioned the doctor's attitude.
No one know. For decades.
I had to tell my husband.
What Dr. Saline did make many of siblings question their fate and origins. This also seems to raise other questions about what family means, and what it means that they are all sibling. This documentary shows how when someone abuses their power or abilities and the lasting effects can be dire.
Related to anyone.
I dread every new match that comes, but they just keep coming.
You're praying.
All of your secrets.
He's hiding something more sinister.
Mr. Birchall had such an effervescent, wonderful
Number 6,
personality.
Abduction in
We
Plain
became
Sight.
Very good friends.
Abduction in Plain Sight is a 2017 documentary that focuses on the figure of Robert Berthold. He tried to come in and infiltrate and destroy the Broberg family. He deliberately did this to fulfill a crazy and terrifying fantasy in his brain, where in this fantasy he saw the figure of Broberg's outgoing member, namely Jan Broberg.
Say the attacks still continue.
If you're laying a trap for me, I'll kill you.
The various wild and crazy fantasies that Robert presents in the film range from alien abduction to mind-blowing relationships. The longer the storyline progresses, the deeper Robert has connections with the Broberg family, the more sinister the plans he presents. This also presents a very scary and controversial situation for anyone who watches it.
And if he had to destroy the family, he would do it.
Abduction in Plain Sight is considered to shock anyone who watches this documentary. The storyline that might emerge next cannot be predicted by anyone. The Broberg family is shown to be truly devastated and experiencing severe torment, due to the person they really trusted. In fact, this documentary is considered to create fear and give rise to problems of trust in other people.
Alien planet by the time I turn 60.
There'll never be anybody for me but Jan. Never.
Number 5, Don't Fuck with Cats.
He needs to be stopped immediately.
Another one of Netflix's most controversial documentaries and an example of how to use the internet and social media wisely. The internet is a big and scary and beautiful place. Many people feel that they are free to upload anything, whenever and wherever. However, many people don't think about the side effects of what they upload.
This person wants to play a game of cat and mouse, and I'm up for that.
Don't with cats could be an example to provide a lesson regarding this matter. In this film, viewers will see how a man tortures 2 kittens. He then uploaded it on the internet. This got responses from all internet users, which made the man a target for these people.
What I'm seeing is impossible. He's going to get the attention of the world now.
This film presents a controversial scene where the perpetrator must accept the horror caused by the actions he committed. This film presents debate because it illustrates how life on the internet can be very serious, and also that all digital traces can be turned back to the user. For this reason, it is necessary to use the internet wisely.
Thousands of people looking to find this guy. There was a tidal wave of leads that were coming in.
I wasn't gonna stop.
It's not gonna be the last time. This is gonna get progressively worse.
Hi, Orange Boys. I'm just calling to let you guys know that if something happens...
Number 4, worst roommate ever.
Why are you crying? Because I'm afraid.
Having a roommate is certainly a very pleasant thing, because we can have friends to share with or be friends to eliminate loneliness. However, on the other hand, having roommates also carries the risk of having a bad experience. And Worst Roommate Ever presents various stories related to this.
My mom said, be careful of the quiet ones.
This documentary does not present anything scary like ghosts or anything like that, but this film shows how everyday people have to face their nightmares in dealing with new strangers. And the new stranger is their roommate. Again, this documentary can raise issues of trust in other people.
He sells himself as a very nice person.
Fun to be with. She seems so sweet.
He seems nice, he's quiet.
Some problems that usually arise when there is a new roommate are fraud and various other threats. These fraudsters will usually try to gain the trust of other people first before acting. And they usually target people who are looking for a roommate.
The scariest thing is a brilliant psycho.
Did you kill Meredith Kircher?
No.
Number 3, the Amanda Knox.
No.
Similar to Ice Cold, Murder, Coffee and Jessica Wongso, The Amanda Knox is a documentary that presents one of the famous stories several years ago. An exchange student in Italy is known to have died as a result of being murdered. Amanda Knox was then tried and found guilty in the case, and ultimately she had to spend time in prison.
That's everyone's nightmare.
However, many people then doubted whether Amanda Knox was indeed guilty in this case. Some people suspect that there are still things that have not been revealed so far, and the documentary The Amanda Knox tries to answer the remaining questions. The audience was then invited to determine whether she was guilty or not.
Some of the information that came out was just completely made up.
The Amanda Knox case could be said to be similar to what happened in Indonesia. Some people think that Amanda is indeed a psychopath, even though she behaves and looks like a normal person. However, on the other hand, this also makes people ask whether she is normal or there is something else that is unknown.
Myself tossed into this dark place. I felt like a child again, and I knew I was a kid.
It's going to be very emotional, so at any point you find yourself getting a little overwhelmed.
Number 2, The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez.
And then come back inside.
The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez is another example where Netflix presents a documentary related to someone's trial. This documentary follows the case of Gabriel Fernandez, a child who died unnaturally. The film focuses on the violence that Gabriel had to endure at the hands of his parents, guardians, and even a system of social services that failed to protect the child.
How did this come to be?
How did a child...
This documentary is one of Netflix's most controversial works because it presents the terrible reality of the social system in America. People who have long been trained and received a mandate to protect various parties who are weak and need help in society actually come from a system that is broken and corrupt.
She didn't just prosecute the mother and her boyfriend, she also took...
The laziness they presented actually had fatal consequences, where an 8-year-old child named Gabriel Fernandez finally died. What happened to Gabriel could happen to any child, and the documentary itself shows how the social system of the service can easily fail to protect them.
At the time of his death, 8 years old.
What's wrong? And looking away when you have a power to make the difference. That is true evil.
Number 1, In the Name of God, A Holy Betrayal. When talking about a particular sect or cult, it seems reasonable that this would provoke controversy in society. In the Name of God, A Holy Betrayal is a clear example of this. This is a documentary from Netflix which will be broadcast in 2023, which tells the story of 4 very controversial people in South Korea.
세상에 폭로되는 그런 사건이었죠.
The four controversial people are the leaders of four heretical sects that emerged in South Korea in the 1980s. An example of this is Jung Myung-sok, who is the leader of a cult called Jesus Morning Star. At that time, Jung claimed to his followers as a savior, which made his followers believe in this.
사실을 밝힐까봐?
However, behind all that, there are various terrible things that emerge, such as sexual harassment and rape. The victims themselves are not only old, but also minors. There are also other heretical sects that show how the leader asked dozens of his followers to die together. Since the first release of this documentary, many Koreans have been excited and it immediately became the center of people's attention.
안녕.
Presenting a documentary means that it will present various new facts or information that perhaps not many people know. When this happened, it was not surprising that the various documentaries gave rise to controversy among the public or various groups. That's enough for this video. Don't forget to press the subscribe button, like and comment on this video so that we are more enthusiastic about making other top 10 videos. And of course, share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.